This is Sportscentre.
Hammers of on week 11 of the CFL season kicks off tonight with the Ottawa Redblacks traveling to Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. And you know we have it on TSN 1 and 3 for you, with coverage beginning at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Both teams sit in third place in their respective divisions, and a win tonight could go a long way to boosting their playoff hopes. After starting the season 1-6, Ottawa comes in riding a 2-game win streak, sparked by a massive performance by QB Drew Brown, who threw for 373 yards and 5 touchdowns in a win over the Argos last week. Another win, and the Redblacks start looking like a legitimate playoff team in the East, but a loss drops them to 3-7, and they'll be in for a battle just to make the playoffs. Can Drew Brown put the team on his back again this week versus a team where he started it all? The Bombers, on the other hand, have been a tale of two teams this season. They started 3-0 and then lost 3 straight. They rebounded with a win over the Argos, but followed up with a heartbreaking 1-point loss to the Stamps last week. Part of their inconsistency can be explained by volatility in the QB position, with starter Zach Collaros missing time with both a suspension and injury so far this season. So which version of the Blue Bombers will we see tonight? Will they return to their early season form, or will their slump continue? Winnipeg is 3-1 at home this year, and they come in as a 5.5-point favorite on FanDuel. However, Ottawa has found more success on the road, with 2 of its 3 wins coming away from home. All I know is that with both teams in the thick of the playoff race, tonight's game has all the makings of a fun one. Now on Tuesday, we got our first look at the moment all Swifties have been waiting for. Not only her debut on her boyfriend's New Heights podcast, but also the massive news that she would be revealing her new album when the show aired live last night. It was our second story on that fateful day, and I love it because we have a resident Swiftie producing today instead of Christopher Hine. I thought we'd have a good shot at this one leading the show today, but I tried. Didn't work. Anyways, we're over it. Time for me to catch up on my stories. The show began with one of the most legendary speech makers in NFL history, as Jason Kelce gave her a hero's welcome.
Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, and producer and director from Nashville, Tennessee. That's bullshit. She is from Reading, Pennsylvania. She is the most awarded artist in the history of the American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and iHeart Radio Music Awards.
Yeah, damn!
She has 14 Grammy Awards and is the only artist in the history to win Album of the Year 4 times. Last December, she wrapped up the Eras Tour, which spanned 149 shows across 51 cities, 5 continents, and was the most attended tour of all time.
Of all time.
I'm still going. Hold up. Her last album, The Torture Poets Department, set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone.
All right.
In the first week?
And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl. 92 percenters! Are you ready for it? Making her podcasting debut, the most aggressive guest in the history of shows, Taylor Swift!
That intro, Jason! Oh my God!
I've seen this before.
No,
He's
look,
about to
his
black
soul
out.
has left his body.
I'm cramping.
I'm cramping.
No, that was so good. Thank you.
I tried, Tay.
Thank you for screaming for like 47 seconds. That was so nice. That was so
Tay,
sweet.
welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
I love it! First of all, we get to talk about Taylor Swift on this show today because she was on a sports podcast, so we're just winning all around. And of course, it wasn't just me who was fired up for this guest appearance. As Adam Schefter pointed out, well over 1 million people were locked in live. And one of Taylor's buddies, Caitlin Clark, turned out to be very prophetic, predicting the show would break the internet, and it did, briefly crashing the YouTube channel when she revealed her album and track list for her 12th studio album, Life of a Showgirl. But the show wasn't just an album promo. We learned a lot about Taylor's growing love of her boyfriend's profession.
I didn't know what a first down was. I didn't know what the chains were. I didn't know what a tight end was.
I am forever thankful for you diving into the football world.
We're talking about cover 2, cover 4, cover 0, cover. We're learning. I continue to learn.
Maybe somebody else that even knows what those coverages are.
Yeah, I'm not ready to be an analyst right now, but give me 16 months.
I feel like when you want to learn something, 16 months seems like a reasonable amount of time, especially for football. There's a lot to learn. And Taylor went on to explain a lot of the parallels within their 2 careers.
On paper, we actually kind of have a very similar job. Our job is to entertain people for 3+ hours in NFL stadiums. And it's like,
It's
like when I'm
true.
there, it's
Yeah.
called a dressing room. When Travis is there, it's called a locker room.
Yep,
For me,
yep.
it's called a rehearsal. For him, it's called a practice. For him, it's called his coach. For me, it's my mom.
Yeah.
So
Guys, I'm really into this. That's love. And you can catch Kelce's Chiefs in preseason action tomorrow night as they help kick off week 2 of the exhibition slate at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN2. Travis has got preseason, Taylor's got pre-orders, of which I was one. Big news out of Cleveland, where the breakout star from week 1 of the NFL preseason is unlikely to suit up for the Browns Saturday against the defending champs Philly. According to the team, Shedeur Sanders injured his oblique while throwing yesterday morning in warm-ups, was a late scratch for the ensuing practice, and further medical testing revealed an oblique strain. Shedeur earned high marks for his Browns debut last Friday, completing over 60% of his passes for over 130 yards and 2 tutties with just 45 snaps. And with a tendency for oblique injuries to linger, ESPN's Dominique Foxworth explained the potential ramifications if this injury were to affect him after this week.
It's a unique number 2 spot.
Yes.
Joe Flacco, he's not the long-term answer there.
He's 40 years old. In case you're wondering, he's 40.
Right. Whoever is in that spot is going to get a chance at some point this season to solidify themselves as the quarterback of the future for the Browns. As much as a long shot as that seems, considering that the Browns have first-round picks in the following draft, it is a chance. And he is going to get that chance. Whoever, whether it's Dylan Gabriel, him, or Kenny Pickett, at some point this season, one or multiple of them, and whoever is in that spot is going to be the first one to get it.
I trust everything Foxworth says because he's a friend of the show. Time now for our favorite segment and yours, We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
Now, a lot of yesterday's show featured Buffalo bias, thanks to the show's usual producer, Christopher Hine. But since he decided to take yet another day off, his replacement has also brought his own personal bias to the show. Because he's a Swiftie, we went deep on Swift. But as a diehard Eagles fan, this next video is near and dear to his heart.
If it has snowed every year for the past 30 years in Alaska, how much would you bet on it to snow this year?
It snowed every year for the last 30 years in Alaska. How much would I bet that it would snow this year?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of questions are these? I would literally bet everything because I have 30 years of data to back up my bet. So yeah, I bet literally everything in the bank account that it would snow.
I have 30 years of data on the Cowboys not making the Super Bowl. So why do you keep saying every year it's your year?
I can't even be on the wife's side on this one because I cheer for the Maple Leafs. Like, the Cowboys and the Maple Leafs are literally the same kind of pain. That's it for today. We'll see you back tomorrow at 3 Eastern. No Pacific. Have a good one.